Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Lights Out League Racing. We are at start of season 24, race 1, and we're at Losail circuit in Qatar. It's glad to be back. We did have a week off in between seasons, but there's nothing like the start of a season. As you can see, we unfortunately don't have a full grid. We've got some old faces, we've got some new faces, but other people have got things going on, haven't they? It's a bit of a shame, but it's the last season before the new game, so I think one or two people have probably checked out. But who cares? We've got 15 fantastic drivers with us tonight, and I'm sure they're going to put on a fantastic show for us. So we do have the short qualifying session. This track, I don't mind it at all. It's not the greatest, but I think it's something that people will learn to love. So, 1 second. I think I just need to invite Lennon in. He's halted my start. Let's see if I can find him. Right, so where was I? Yes, so the Qatar circuit's 5.4 kilometres. It's a clockwise circuit, 16 corners, 10 to the right and 6 to the left. Only the one DRS zone, which is on the start-finish straight. It can be quite effective. It's just over a kilometre long, so it can be quite a good advantage, but it's how you perform throughout the rest of the track. And we've got everybody starting out on a set of soft tyres. We've got Jack Craig, who's going to be going on a set of mediums. And it will be Adam who will be starting off, so we'll catch up with him in a second. Yeah, like I said, it's quite a brand new track. At first, I'll jump on him. He's caught me off guard. Down the start, finish straight. He's got his DRS open as we start the lap. Now, like I said, brand new track, so it's only numbers, no names with this one. As we turn the right-hander of turn 1, you want to just come over the curb, nice and smooth, and the same on the left, just letting off the accelerator, no need to brake. Foot down, stay on the inside of that turn 3, and then turns 4 and 5, nice sweeping corners, no braking, just let off. There is a chance to go off wide, so keep it on the track, and then we come to this sharp left hairpin. It's not a full hairpin, but it's the slowest part of the track. And open up your throttle, loop round the smooth right-hander again. You don't really need to brake too much on this track. Careful not to go off on the inside of turn 9. There is a chance of a bit of a wiggle. I don't know if anyone was in his way there. It didn't look like it. I think he just lost a bit of traction. And then this is one of the best parts of the track. Turns 13, 14, 15, flat out. And then you can go flat out here. It just brakes a little bit so it doesn't go too wide. Open up the throttle, past the detection zone, and then final turn 16. It's going to get a bit of slipstream off the car in front. It's going to aid his down the straight off his teammate and goes to pole with the provisional pole with a 21.2. Now, I reckon potentially we're going to be... It's a good start time from Adam, but I think maybe looking at mid-20, late 20s for pole, as Jack on the mediums comes to 22.6, which is a fantastic time. Ahmadi on a 21.3, so we can see that the times are putting in there. Let me just double check. I think 1 or 2 might need re-inviting. It's time of the season. 1 second, folks. I think we might have lost Ben Judah as well. Let me just invite him as well. Do a couple of invites. Right, has Lennon come online? I have asked him to. I can't see him yet. Nope. I'll just leave it as it is for now then. Okay. So we'll go through our driver list. Like I say, we do have one or two missing. And we've got some reserves filling in for our full-time drivers. Champions League football always is a bit of a hindrance for us when we do league racing on this night. So, but we'll go through our drivers. So we'll start off with the Red Bull team. So we've got Barthélemy, joined us last season. Fantastic pace with the lads. He got a podium last season, and reasonably quick. Had one or two inconsistencies during the season, missed 1 or 2 races, but if he joins us every single race, he'll have a chance of the championship. And his teammate is reserving for us in the place of Cygate is Brid, which is his compatriot. Was a full-time driver last season, but chose to drop down to reserve with other commitments. So, again, a bit of inconsistency during the season, whether it's his fault or another's. But it's good to see him on the track with us. Next we have the Ferraris, and we do have Imad, who's currently in the pits, but one of the quick drivers on the grids. Came P2 in the constructors just by a point, sake of a pole position, and he could have been consideration for P1, but just nipped by Portuguese. But I'm sure he'll put another good show on this season for us. And joining him is his teammate Danny Dine, who's a new regular with us. Did 1 or 2 reserves last season. I raced with him in another league. Good, consistent driver. Consistency is key. So if you remain on the track without any incidents, you're guaranteed to at least get in the top 10 and get some decent points. So next up, we've got the Mercedes, and Adamaku came 3rd in the constructors. Got his broke up the Imad Portuguese winning streak and managed to bag last race of the season's win with a fantastic show at Silverstone. Very quick driver, and he'll be looking to eye for a win. And try and get that championship for the last season of F1 23 with us. His teammate is the one and only Katamise, who's, I think he hates the Mercedes. He has avoided it like a plague throughout his F1 career, I think, but he's been a good sport and jumped in. And I think that him and Adam have been with a good shout of constructors this season, or potentially himself in a few podiums. As we've just seen Thelemy jump up to a provisional pole of 29, so those times are ticking as the track heats up. Next up, we do have the Aston Martin team, but none of the actual regular drivers are with us. We do have Ben Judah, who's a new reserve driver. It'd be interesting to see what his pace is. Hasn't come out yet. I just need to invite Lennon. Sorry, folks. Where's he gone? He said he was online. Is he though? Doesn't say. Right, he's had another invite. I've sent you one. It didn't say you were online, but have a look. I've sent you an invite. Neither Portuguese, the championship winner from last season's here, or his teammate Cameron, both just having the night off for various reasons. So I should be back with us next week. Next up, we've got the McLaren team. So AJ, who's always been kind of Mr. P4, Mr. P5, just quite hasn't made it, but hopefully be rooting for him to get on that podium this season, maybe even sneak a win, depending on different circumstances. Very consistent, but he'll be hankering for that. As Adamaku takes provisional pole again with a 20.8, great lap from him, and he's setting that standard. I think there'll be one or two who'll be looking to nip that. Then his AJ's teammate is Big Raki, who won the Constructors with Portuguese last season. Consistent, and that's what you need with a teammate, consistently finishing, consistently getting the points, and that's how you'll win those Constructors, and that's what Big Raki's done, and he's holding the title, and glad to have him back with us this season. Next we have the Alpines with Jax Daniels and Project Ty, both good friends, French compatriots, and both very consistent. Jax is quick. When raced with him in a different league, he got pole on this track, and I think he'll be eyeing. He is good second or so off the pace, but I'm sure he's got some extra time in his lap. And same with his teammate Project Ty, a nice consistent driver. And they'll be looking to score some points to get their team competing. We next have the Tauri's, which we've just got Jack Craig with us today. We are supposed to have Lennon, but I can't see to get him in yet. Hopefully he'll join maybe in the race. He'll have to let me know if he's actually within the party or not. He's in the chat, so we'll see. But yeah, Jack Craig, he's a brand new driver with us. Good time at the moment, 22.6, but that was on medium, so let's see what it does on the softs. And Williams, we are actually missing both drivers. I don't know where they are, we haven't heard of them. So I think Benjuda needs another invite. We're having a bit of issues with people getting kicked out here, so let me just invite him again. Let me just double check if Lennon's in again while I'm here. Still not showing, so yeah, so no, there is. So no Williams points today, no Williams drivers. And the next we've got Alfa Romeo. We unfortunately don't have Wesker, but in his place is Devils Rejected, who's currently on the 123.3. Interesting to see again what pace he's got reserving for us. Hopefully we'll see his face a few times during the season. And his teammate is Giza, who is taking up a full-time seat. Glad to have him. Lennon, check your EA invite, because if when it's showing you're offline, if you press your touchpad, it'll take you onto an invite on there. Yeah, he did a few reserve races with us last season and taken a full-time seat. Nice, consistent, again, middle of the road, I'd say, with pace, but he'll be eyeing to try and get within that, break that top 6, even sneak a podium. Points is key. Next, and then finally are the Hash drivers, and we've got Noodles, who's brand new to the league, and he has taken up a full-time seat. And I'd be interested to see his pace. I've been speaking to him prior to today, and yeah, I think probably if the track is correct, he'll be up near the top, but currently provisional P9, and his teammate is Barcelona, who hasn't shown up either. So for these drivers that haven't shown up, we will be having a chat with them afterwards. Their appearance will be critical for the rest of the season and going into next season's new game. So let's catch some action then. Now I've done a bit of chat, so we're on with Jack currently. We do have an outlap of Devil Rejected, so we'll have keep an eye on him and see what pace he can do. It'd be interesting to see what people's setups are. It's a medium to high speed track. Those corners, a lot of them you can go flat out, or at least let off the accelerator without braking. It is a high downforce setup, so depends how low you've got your wings. Would depend on, like any track, how quick you're going to go. He's got a bit of traffic ahead, but it does get out of the way. Fantastic driving there from the McLaren. As we're following him, whipping round, coming around the end of sector 1 here, and he is a 10th and a half up on his time, which we'll just keep him currently in P13, but there's plenty of time to find in the rest of his lap. Yeah, Qatar's a new track, debuted in 2021, and seemed like it was a bit of a trial race, and then it joined in season 2023, and it will be with us for a while because it's got a 10-year contract. I think a lot of, and he's gone even further up on his time, so he potentially could jump up 1 or 2 places here. It'd be interesting to see what he can do. This will be his last lap potentially, unless he has overfueled, but tyre wear is absolutely mental in this track, so I doubt he'll be doing another lap. As he's coming round, opening up the DRS, and we'll see what his time will be. And he is range P13, but his time improves to 22.8. We've got the McLarens. We're both out on an out lap currently. We do have a Mercedes. Is that Cat coming round? It's Catami's coming round, so he'll be looking to jump up, currently in a provisional P6, which I think he'll be overall happy with in the downward spiralling Mercedes. Yeah, it's interesting track, this one. He is 3.5 tenths up on his time, so currently that could get him into P4. There'll be 1 or 2 behind. He'll be keeping an eye on that. As he's just coming around the final corner, I think Adam took advantage of his teammates' slipstream earlier. But Katami opens up that DRS, and he is... it does go P4, the 21.1. Fantastic time from Katami's. As we've got an Alpine coming behind. It was Project Tire, but he didn't improve. We've got Haas coming. Where is Haas? Have Noodles. He's on his out lap, so just coming round. Keys is on his out lap. No, he's going to pit, so we've got another Mercedes. I think that is Adam Mako coming round on his out lap, so he will be first. So everyone now will be setting their final laps. These are your crucial times. There is a McLaren behind who's going to be trying to take that advantage of the slipstream. Was Big Racky, who jumped up to 21.8. Great time from him. We're keeping a keen eye on Adam to see if he can improve on his provisional pole, especially with Portuguese out of the way. Everyone's going to be looking for that podium, that win, those crucial points. He's coming round, going round the slow corner, and is 1/10.5 up on his time, so he is eking away. Yellow flags, his cars are just trying to make a bit of gap between their between other drivers, all getting out of the way of people on the hot laps, and I think that potentially that is the end of qualifying, so whatever times are set now will be the end qualifying time. I think the Haas might have not got to the line in time, unfortunately. Adam is in the final sector, flat out, minimal fuel. Coming around the final corner, he's got a slipstream off his teammate. What team play that is! Give Katami's a round of applause. And Adam goes up 20.5. His teammate, he's got to love having Katami's and his teammate. Great team play. And we've got Giza now coming around on the final lap corner. Opens up his DRS. And does he improve on his 22.0? He gets a 21.9, but stays where he is, as we've got a Red Bull coming through. It's Red, who comes home at 21.2, just above his... sorry, a couple of places down behind. Bellamy. As Jack Daniels comes home in a P7. There's a great lap from him. Amadi jumps up into P2. I'll be ekering for that P1, but it goes to Adam Mako with a fantastic time of 20.5. Give that guy a round of applause, but you've got to congratulate Katami's for that team play of giving those extra few tenths. Great play. And then Thelemy, yeah, coming home in that P3. He's going to be eyeing up for that win. He had opportunities last season, but had a few incidents or just couldn't quite make it. So all of them making the 20s, 3/10 in there between the top three. Not much really. Yeah, we'll wait for that grid to come up and whip through that. So our first qualifying ended of the season, our first grid of the season, and Adamako takes it with a 20.5. Imadi, P2 on a 20.7, joins him on the first row. We've got Thelemy and Katamis in the other Mercedes on the second row, Brid on P5 and AJ in P6. We've got Jack Daniels in P7, Jack Craig, fantastic on his first outing with us on P8, Big Racky in P9 and Kizagi's rounding off the top 10. And then we've got Noodles in 11, Project Ty in 12, Devils in 13, Ben Judah on 14, and Danny Dye, both of those two not setting a time in rounding off their grid. So while they are just sorting out, which I can't invite anyone, I hope people are in. I have tried to invite. I'll wait to see once the race has started whether Lennon or Ben Judah are in. But strategy for this one, I'd go for hards to mediums. It is a hard wearing track. You don't want to really make too many pit stops. You're going to be wasting about 22 seconds in the pits. So that one stop is the way to go. But who knows, if a safety car does come out, take advantage of it. Who do you reckon's going to? Ben Judah's in. Nice. Oh, thank God. Well done, mate. Whoever's in the chats, please say you reckon's going to win. I'm going to probably go for Adamako for the first win. I want to go for Thelemy, and then I rooted for Noodles in on the start. He's my outsider. I know he's not near the top at the moment, but who knows whatever goes on in the race. So wait for people while they are, like I said, just sorting out the fuel, sorting out their strategies, and we shall get underway very soon. And we are on the grid as the lights are out and we are away. No one's stalled on the grid, which is good. It looks like Adamako has got away ahead of Amadi. Amadi's trying to slot behind him, but Adamako does have position. We've had one or two jockeying around as Thelemy remains P3, Katami's P4, Brid P5, and we have no one's actually made any big losses, thankfully. No big, little bit of adjusting around the back, but everybody is on and is safe and is going round. Fantastic. Biggest loser actually is Jack, who's lost a couple of places, and the biggest gainer is my man Noodles, who's gained 3 places. The strategy is hard to mediums, as I did say. I am Mystic Meg, as people are going in formation, and I think it will be like this until DRS opens. But we do have a range of strategies, funny enough. So we've got Katamis and Jack starting on the softs, so looking to gain a bit of advantage on those tyres, but the wear, especially when you've got a lot of fuel in the car, that wear will hamper those tyres, so potentially looking at a safety car or so. We've got half and half really on the mediums and hards. It's Jack makes an overtake on Big Racky coming round the final corner. So it's a great overtake as Big Racky's trying to look at retaking his position as Jack's overtakes Brid on turn 1 with a great overtake. Then Brid is looking to fight back, but he's on the outside. Jack still has position, but Brid will have the position on the inside. And Jax is just ahead as he just bumped wheels, but Brid is on the inside. But Jax, there's good wheel to racing there, but Jax will have position as he just goes wide, and he's just slotted in front. But then Brid is on the inside of the slow corner, and I think just pushing him round, which means AJ and the McLaren will have a bit of a run. as the two cars in ahead are battling, but that's fantastic driving by those two as Jax jumps ahead again of Brid. As Big Raki is the first one already in lap 2 to get a penalty. Keep it on the track, man. Keep it on the track. As AJ and Noodles are now battling for P7. As AJ's managed to stay ahead. Noodles just slotted in behind. Gale just went off there. Did he have a bit of a collision? That looked odd there, as Noodles has had a bit of a mare as he's dropped down. Hopefully he hasn't had any damage. It doesn't look like it. Looks a bit slippy and he's gone off. Oh, thankfully he's managed to not hit any of the there's my just must be the commentator's curse, the commentator's jinx. It's a bit of weave in there from Jax. I don't think Brid would be too happy with that. Only one move, remember, come on. But he retains the positions. Brid has a bit of a slip there in the Red Bull. As the top 3 is still in formation, but the top 4 actually have broken away as DRS is activated on this lap. With Jax and Brid battling, they drop behind. So if Jax can stay ahead of Brid, maybe potentially they could work together to pull and get closer to the top 4. But they are in formation. But you'd probably say Adam and Thelemy, I'd say, are probably... Oh, I don't know. They're all different strategies. It's hard to call. It's still early. But as we go through, Adam looking strong. Got Amadi in second, who's keeping content with him. Just want to let him get away. Thelemy just behind Amadi, and then Katamise, the other Mercedes. Mercedes team looking strong. Katamise on the soft tyres, so you want to stay with them as long as he can before his tyres wear off. We've got first the Alpines, Jax in P5, who's got Brid, AJ and Jack Craig with company. And again, all of them on different strategies, so it'd be interesting to see how they jostle and how the and as Danny Dine and Ben Judah have a bit of a, I think there might have been a little bit of a collision there maybe, but Danny Dine does jump ahead into P13. Noodles is going to be pushing hard and he's already got a penalty. You want to keep it on the track because penalties do play a big factor later in the race, but he's got a bit of pace, so hopefully he'll join back. He'll potentially be hoping for a safety car. So top 4 still in formation, still within DRS. However, that one DRS zone can be effective. Jax is just gradually slipping back. He has drained all of his ERS trying to stay in front. As we see, the cars in front are all is actually Adamaka has been overtaken from Amadi down the DRS zone. Adam's going to want to stay with Amadi and not let him pull ahead. He does have the medium compound tyres compared to the hard. So we'll see how they jostle down that start-finish straight. As Jax is dropping behind now. He's pumped all his ERS, so maybe he's used all of his cards too early. Brid will be sniffing for that opportunity with AJ and with Jack. And then we've got a second and a half for Big Raki, who'll be fighting there with Kiza Giza. There'll be a good battle between those two. I recall those two were battling hard last season as well, so very interesting, those two. I think they'll be the second side of each other. As Adam Mako does jump back into P1. These two will probably be jostling for position as Kiza Giza does exactly the same and takes position over Big Raki. And as I said, Brid manages to overtake Jax going into turn 2. Great overtake there. It's not often as they're going to be battling again, as Jax has just managed to slot behind. It looked like he was going to have the run in there, as we just saw Jack go a bit wide and potentially getting a warning. You don't want to turn any of them. Still the top 4 together, but Brid is now 2.7 seconds behind, so the battling with him and Jax is going to be at detriment of their hopes to get towards the podium. But like I said, strategies will come in play. So Brid has got Jax, AJ and Jaxter with him. We've got the 9 and 10th positions being battled for, and then we've got Devil Rejected and Project Ty, who will be battling hard for P11. It's normally it used to be, it's normally best of the rest, isn't it? But we give points to everybody if you finish. So if you get over the line, then you get some points. So we don't really call best of the rest anymore. We've got Danny Dine in the Ferrari. He's just on a bit of a. He's had a bit of a wobble and he's in no man's land. And Benjuba just got a penalty, and so did Brid, which will be a bit of a detriment. As what's happening is a bit of a three-way tie here, and a four-way with Jack coming in now. As AJ is now gone to the back of the queue, and Brid is at the front. Some great opportunism there from Jack, who's gained a place ahead as Jack jumps back ahead of Brid as well. There's going to be a great battle between these four for that P6 position. You want the McLarens to potentially work together, so if these are going to be battling, big racking Geezer will come in play. It will mean that these four will drop from the front four, but it will bring another two into the battle, and some excellent points for McLaren. As we are halfway through lap 6, Amadi is nipped back in front in the DRS zone, which he did miss as Project Ty gets a penalty. Penalties are a bit of a bugger on this one if you when you're pushing hard, especially on turn 5, 9, and the triple right-hander 13, 14 and 15. So going down the straight now is that Adam isn't close enough to make the overtake, but Thelemy might be. They all have DRS, so all in formation. Then we've got the next four as Brid and Jax are battling hard as Brid overtakes Jax, and back into P5, and then Jack Craig and AJ still in formation there, not quite close enough quite yet. They're going to follow each other around the lap, maybe looking for an opportunity for an overtake as Devils makes the overtake on Project Ty, and Noodles overtakes Benjuda into P14. So he's managed to shake off that earlier spin and got himself back up to place, and now have his eyes set on Danny Dine, again hoping for a safety car. Amadi still in first place on the hard, so he's in prime position at the moment. Adam in P2, Thelemy P3, and Katamiz has just dropped slightly. He's going to want to stay in that DRS zone before the end of the lap, otherwise he will fall out. Maybe his softs are wearing. Goes a bit wide and gets a penalty. We caught that on stream. He's not going to be happy with that. He's going to be hoping that one or two ahead will get a penalty as well, otherwise he's not going to be in contention for that podium. As we come to the end of lap 7, will we see an overtake for the lead here? As Adam, I don't think he's quite close enough again with the DRS. No one's using their ERS currently, so they're still in formation as we got the next four. Everyone has pumped their ERS as Jax looks and makes the overtake again on Brid. These two are squabbling like brother and sister as Brid is coming on the outside. They collide a little bit, but they're still on the track, and Jax remains ahead, but Jack Craig is right up on their tail now and just slightly dropped AJ. I think he's just going to watch from behind in case to watch the chaos happen and then take advantage. He doesn't want to get involved with any calamities there. So we see Project Ty and Devil rejected, battling. Devil on the outside. Project Ty has used all his DRS and they collide a little bit, but managed to stay on the track. Keeps his wheels. He's probably a little bit hot with the slide, but they want to fight back and get that place as Devils drops behind his teammate in position anyway. And P11 as Jackson Brid are battling again as they're coming round the the fast 3 corners. You don't overtake there. It's a place where you're going to go absolutely flying because you're going flat out anyway. As we got a first person who's driving into the pits, who's going to be looking for an undercut, and it's AJ going early on the hards. Has he got any damage? Ooh, this will be interesting. He's the first one to pit. Is he looking for a 2-stop? I'll have a look here. He'll be going on the medium, surely. Maybe he's doing a hard, medium, medium. He's got no damage, so alternative strategy there from AJ. Again, potentially hoping for some safety car or so, but it's dropping him to the back. He might get ahead. No, he's behind Benjuda, so he is at the back. So interesting call there from AJ. I think he just wants to get out potentially that dirty air and that squabbling and just have some open air and pump some laps in. But yeah, interesting interesting call there. As Katamise is now, we've lost Jack Craig. Did he do that on his own, or did he have a collision with one of the drivers of Jackson Brid ahead? We'll find out with potentially the stewards afterwards, or we'll speak to Jack afterwards, but he'll be a bit gutted. He was doing well there, battling for that P5. So now we just have those two. Katamise has been dropped by the top three now. His tyres are wearing thin. I don't know if softs were the right call, but everyone has their own strategies. Everyone drives differently. One of the big calls in this, as it's now, Jack now drives in the pit. So yeah, potentially following AJ's. Doesn't want to get that undercut from AJ, but he is on the soft, so it makes sense for him to now jump on the hards and potentially go to the end. He's got to do 19 laps. I'd probably say, as we've got a couple of others jumping in now. Big Raki is in, Jack Craig is in. So the Big Raki will potentially jumped on the mediums, so he's not going to get to the end on those mediums and 19 laps, no way. Jack goes on the hard, so that would be potential. Jack's pushing hard, or did he slip? But he's got a penalty. Probably pushing hard, trying to get ahead of AJ. But AJ has jumped him by pitting slightly earlier. He is on the better tyres, but they will wear quicker. And it'd be interesting to see people's strategies with fuel as well. I did give people pre-warning that this track absolutely nails your fuel. Now, people that have done a league race on this track before should be aware of this, but we'll probably see some fuel saving or people running out of fuel with a lap to go. So that'll be quite interesting later on. Yeah, I don't know. Whoever's watching, what do you think of Qatar as a racing track? Noodles gets penalty, pushing hard again. It was originally designed as a track for motorbike racing, and obviously F1 has dipped into that money market. Penalties are rolling in now. The penalties are rolling in, and it'll be integral to positions when the race comes to fruition in 18 lap time, as AJ now takes provisional fastest lap, a critical point in the standings, as he has actually dropped Jack Daniels, so he's making use of those tyres, and everyone seems to be out of DRS now, as strategies are taking effect apart from that top three. So currently our podium sitters, but like I said, penalties do come to play. You'd probably say Ahmadi is favourite currently, as Adamako is the first to pit out of the top three. He's pitting early. I probably would have given it another couple of laps, but he's calling it early. He's going to make that undercut, and as we've seen with AJ, the undercut does work, and he's managed to catch up with Danny Dine as Adamako jumps on those hards, and we'll see whether the other two pit. Will they follow suit? You'd like to think Bellamy would follow. He doesn't want to lose too much shine on somebody that's got the same strategy, but Ahmadi will want to do a few more laps, so it'll be interesting as Adamako comes out ahead of Devil Rejected TV, who's a fantastic job currently in P7. He's still yet to pit, but as Jack's now and Big Raki takes fast like this, fastest laps are flying in also. I'll have to keep an eye on that as the track happens to wear in later on, as Jax does make that overtake on Danny Dine. I think Danny might have let him pass and not interfere with his race too much. But Jax will be pushing, he's actually caught up with AJ. Probably a bit of the DRS advantage behind Danny Dine, but he has managed to claw that back, as AJ is now within DRS zone of AJ, as we have a bit of an incident with the McLaren, is it, of Big Raki? I don't know, no, or the Ferrari, don't know. I don't know, a yellow flag. A yellow flag anyway. Yes, we've got the top two is still going out, so Thellamy's giving it a few more laps. Getting pulled along by Darmody, so that might actually help him in his battle with Adamako as Katamis now finally jumps into the pits and goes on to mediums. So is he doing a softs to mediums? Brave call there from Katamis. So he's gone as long as he can on the softs, and we do know like he likes to wear them as thin as possible. Yeah, doing softs to mediums. There's a bit of battling there as Devils and Project Tyres. Project Tyre jumps ahead down this pit straight of Devils, who will be battling hard to try and take the place back. They are following suit as going round, but it's a great overtake as Jack jumps ahead of Noodles, who has gone into pits and onto the hard tyres, so who will be able to go to the end. Then Jude, a bit of 1 or 2 incidents, but keep going, buddy. P15 is a great result, and like I said, if you're finishing in the race, you do finish with points, and it's critical for constructors. So just go in formation there as Bartholomew does jump in the pits now. So has he gained time by getting pulled along by Amadi? Amadi will be out for probably, I'd say, another 2 to 3 laps, maybe another 2 laps, I reckon, actually. Bartholomew comes in, Grid follows suit. So will he get held up by his teammate? No, he is far enough behind. So Thelamy does jump onto the hards, and Brid will follow suit onto the hards also. As Thelamy comes out behind Adamako, so that extra few laps has cost him time, but he will have the fresher tyres, and he has come out 2.7 seconds behind his teammates. Devil rejected and Project Ty battling hard as Ty goes wide, and AJ jumps ahead of him as Jax and Project Ty, I think Ty's letting everybody pass and doesn't want to get involved. Either that or he just got a bit overwhelmed, but he has dropped a few positions behind Devil Rejected. AJ is ahead as Devil Rejected now battling with Jax Daniels. He's going to be, he is on the harder, older tyres, and the other 2 drivers should be able to get past as Katamis and Jax are battling hard also as well. Katamis has made the move and got past Jax and Devil Rejected, as now Jax is just held up behind. He's not going to be behind him too long, but it's some great defending here by Devil Rejected as he's looking just on the inside to make that overtake. He's on the outside of the corner, and great overtake round the turns of 12, 13 and 14. The fast right-handers. I say you don't overtake there, but he's done it as Devil Rejected is now behind him. He'll be pitting soon, as we see Geezer in the pits now, who will be jumping onto those hards. Some great overtaking there from all those 4 drivers. Catherine's now back up to P4. AJ in P5, who's gained some time because he's back in contention now. Geezer's coming out. I think he'll potentially come out just ahead of Jack Craig. It will be tight, but I think he'll just do it, and he does, into P12. So now we have Amadi still yet to pit, and he will fall behind Adamako and potentially Thelamy as Brid jumps ahead of Danny Dine. Going round, I think that was turn 4, so a great overtake from him. So I think he potentially will be behind on P3. Katamis is on the medium, so he can catch up potentially to the cars ahead. He has got a penalty, so he's going to need to get ahead of them to have any say in a podium. But AJ has lost a couple of seconds behind Katamis. It was about half a second, but must have made a mistake or had a bit of a collision with Katamis. But he's now got Jax right up behind him, who again has got penalties. As penalties again rolling in, we'll have a look at them later. As Amadi is now in the pits, and Thelamy with the fastest lap, and Amadi does fall behind the front 2, but he will be on the medium tyres, so we'll have that advantage as we see Brid overtaking the ones jumping in the pits who haven't pitted yet. So that is Devils, Project Ty jumping on the mediums. We've got Danny Dine who'll be jumping onto the mediums, and Jack Craig, he's retired in the pits, and I think he potentially just had a bit too much, so we'll have a chat with him afterwards and see. I think he's just called it a day, and then Benju valiantly fighting at the back, so we'll have a chat with Jack and see what his issue is. So no points for Alpha Tauri today, unfortunately. So going through, we've got Adamako on the hards, 2.3 seconds ahead of Thelemy, so they're both on the same strategy, but Thelemy does have a bit of fresher tyres. Amadi, who's now in DRS zone, on the fresh medium, so he is going to be battling hard and looking for that P1 right up behind Thelemy and looking to do that overtake. Katami is the other Mercedes in P4, 5.5 seconds behind, but be looking to do a job for that Mercedes team. It goes quite wide. He's going to blame it on the card. As we see Amadi make the overtake on Thelemy into turn 1 with a great overtake. Just goes a little bit wide, but has managed to stay in front. Thelemy needs to stay with him throughout the lap to make that overtake again on the DRS zone at the end of the lap again. We've got AJ who's now 4.5 seconds, so he's being dropped by Katamise. But Katamise has has actually new tyres. AJ pitted early, doesn't he? So it'll be interesting to see what his strategy is. And he does have Jack Daniels right up in his gearbox. They were battling earlier on different strategies, and penalties and fuel will play their part later. Be interesting to see how that goes. We've got Big Raki who's battling with Brid now. Big Raki has dropped Kiza Giza by pitting a bit earlier, but it may come into play later in the next 12 laps or so. We've got Noodles in P10, 8 seconds behind, so running a bit of his own race currently for the Haas team. Bigging up the Haas team because his teammate didn't turn up as a little coward that he is. We'll find out what happened with Bars later. Devil rejected in P11 now, 4.5 seconds again in his own race. I think all these ones now are all in their own race. Penalties may come in play, like I said, as Amadi takes that fastest lap. Still has Thelemy in that DRS zone, so can Thelemy stay with him as long as possible? But he has caught up with Adamakis, so it is a fight for that top 3 as AJ and Jax are battling, as Jax jumps up to P5. I think these two will be to and fro, and as Brid takes P7 with Big Raki, but again I think these two will be just in positions as the laps go on, with 11 laps to go now. So so as I was saying earlier, like, what do people think of I think AJ, I just want to stay with him, not push it too much. He has got the softer tyre compound compared to the hards, so but his wear will be a lot worse. So it's an interesting track. It doesn't have any iconic aspects as such, really, because it is new. You know, you compare it to things like Silverstone with Maggers and Beckett's, and Monaco with Casino Square and the hairpin and the tunnel. You've got Spa with Eau Rouge, and Canada with World Champions. Even Turkey, you know, that's got a memorable turn 8, hasn't it? So, but yeah, this one doesn't really have it. But I think as Amadi jumps into P1 and showing his dominance there on the fresher tyres, and the cars behind Adamaka and Bartholomew are going to want to stick with him now. They're not going to let him break that DRS. They do have better ERS Adamaka anyway, to fight against the tyre compound as Giza. Jax has jumped into the pits actually and jumped onto medium tyres, so I'll tell you whether it must have been a strategy call there. Probably thinking the hards aren't that great, but he's going to fights with Devils. He's just going to get ahead of Devils, but Devils has got that speed to go on the outside. Devils just jumped ahead going into turn 2, but Jax does have the softer tyres side by side. Great battling there. They're still on the track as Jax is just behind, but will he have the inside? This Devils is just on the outside, still ahead, and just pulls ahead. Great battling there, but Jackson's not going to be stuck behind him too long. As on the slope, turn 5, Devils still remains ahead. Both pumping the RS, and they don't want to use it up, especially Jackson's going to want to work his way up the field. As Amadi takes that fastest lap, and Thelemy has jumped up to P2. They have been dropped by Amadi, so Amadi making use of those medium tyres. As we're still watching Jax and Devils rejected, with some great battling as we're going round the fast triple right-hander. And I think, as I mentioned earlier, as an iconic part of the track, that potentially might be one of the favourite parts of the track for drivers, because it's such a white knuckle section where you just go flat out. As Jax gets that penalty, he tried to stay off, but it doesn't matter if you still get your foot down, you're staying on. He gets another penalty. Those penalties are racking up, and jumps ahead of Devil rejected, making that easy overtake down the start finish straight. As Big Racky did pit onto fresh mediums. That tyre wear is a bit of a tricky one, or trying to conserve a bit of fuel, who knows. With 9 laps to go, Amadou is now 2.5 seconds ahead of Thelemy and Adamako. Adamako did look favourite to begin with, but that strategy of hards to mediums, as I mentioned at the start, is the favourable one to go. You have less fuel in your car. The medium compound compared to the hards, it's just a lot faster in this stint of the races. Will Adamako have enough to make that overtake going down the DRS straight? He hasn't, but I think Thelemy has had to pump a bit of his ERS to stay ahead. Katamis in P4 is now almost 10 seconds behind, as AJ now jumps in the pit, and I think that 2-stop just isn't the right call. You're losing 22 seconds with that extra pit. But is he going to jump on softs now? No, another set of mediums. So he's going to look to try and work his way up the grid as much as possible. He should get out ahead of Noodles and Jax. Jax is pitting again, so AJ and Jax will be having that. He hasn't. He's dropped behind Jax, and potentially even Devils, who's had a great battle with Jax earlier but has been dropped. So we'll have a 3-way battle here with Noodles, Jax and AJ. Jax and AJ on the fresher tyres in comparison to Noodles. He's a geezer here now in P6. A great some great steady racing from him, and his strategy's played out well in comparison to other people's battling. He's 7 seconds and behind Brid, but he's got a great 11-second gap on Noodles and P7, as we see Jax right up on the gearbox going into Project Target and penalty. So we'll go to turn 10 there, turn 11, and he's looking to make the overtake on the outside of turn 12. It's going to be risky on the fast section, but makes it. Fantastic overtake there by Jax on Noodles. Noodles is going to want to battle back now on the DRS straight. He'll have the ERS advantage because Jax has used all of his. Jax has the medium tyres. Will there be enough traction off the line for Noodles? With AJ right up behind him as well. I don't think he's got enough to make the overtake at this moment. I could be wrong. Noodles is coming up behind. Will he pull on the inside for a last minute? And just collides. Was it a bit too late to make that move? We'll never know. We'll have to get a bit of a... as he lets the other drivers past, we'll have to get a bit of a POV from both those drivers to see what happened. But a bit of a risky one with a late move, but could have been a bit of a... could have been a bit worse, but AJ is now right up behind Jax. So there'll be a bit of a battling again from those two drivers who had it earlier on, and it will be to the end of the race, I think. So we'll go through and have a look at penalties also. So Amadi in P1, almost 4 seconds ahead now of Barthélemy, who in P2, but he's got Adamako right up behind him. So those two jostling for that second step on the podium. We've got Katami's currently in P4 with 3 seconds, so he will have P4. We've got Brid 11 seconds behind him as well, so Katami's is consolidated P4. It looks like Brid has got P5 as AJ makes that overtake just before the DRS zone. So he didn't do it before the DRS detection zone. So Jax does have his wing open. Will he make the overtake again? Coming into turn 1, trying to look on the outside, and just bumps wheels with AJ, but they keep it on the track as Jax slots him behind AJ, pushing him round turn 2. Great battling again from those pair. We've got Giza who is almost just under 7 seconds behind Brid. He's got 6 seconds penalty, so he is under threat now from AJ. Jack has got 9 seconds of penalties in P8, so he will potentially drop a couple, 2 or 3 places by the looks of it. We've got Devil rejected. It looks like he's got a speeding in the pit lane penalty. Italian hand gesture. You'll get one of them if you cross that line too fast. He shouldn't do it. But he does have Big Racky right behind him as Thelemy and Adamako battling down the DRS, and Adam is up to P2 again. We've got Project Ty on 17-second penalty, so that will drop him down to P13, I think, and yeah, Noodles, even with his, will jump up a place, and Danny Dime will jump up a couple of places too. So keeping his race clean, that will keep him in contention for a few places. So we've got 5 laps to go. We've got Amidis 4.5 seconds still ahead. Big Racky and Devils rejected. Battling down the DRS zone and battling hard for that P9. Putting a great show for us, these guys, all battling in their twos as Jack's cut the corner there a bit again. We caught you. We can see you. Those penalties are deserved. Yeah, I think just battling hard with AJ. It won't mean anything to him in regards to where he finishes because the penalties will take their place, but it looks like he's just dropping off a little bit now as Thelemy takes advantage of that DRS again, and those two will be adjusting for position. Big Racky gets a penalty. He wouldn't want that now with 4 laps to go. It will hamper his position. Amadi looking safe now for that P1. It will be battling for this P2, and it will, I think, you potentially going to want to be ahead going into that last lap, because I think you might not have enough to make that overtake on that last stretch over the line. Adam does have that ERS advantage, so he's going to want to take advantage of that near the end as well. Katami's just going steady in that P4, and he'll be absolutely chuffed with this result. We've got Bred in P5, Keys P6. Got Diamond as Project Ties jumping in the pits now, jumping on to set of softs. He's going to be looking for that fastest lap, that extra point, as he's coming out in P13, getting lapped by the cars ahead. But he won't care. Yeah, like I said, he'll be after that fastest lap. Got AJ in P7, Jax Daniels currently in P8, but I think he'll drop a couple of places. Got Big Racky in P9. As Adam now gets a penalty. Adam Acker gets a penalty, and he'll be absolutely kicking himself. He'll be hoping that Thelemy gets a penalty now, but he can't rely on other people now. He's got to make that overtake and get that 3-second advantage now. It's not in his hands in regards to playing his ERS. He's got to get ahead now and get the work in and pump those laps in. He's only got 3 to go. Oh, it's such a killer when you do it so late on in the race. But it can be so easily done as well when you're pushing hard and battling. Thelemy will see that, of course. So he's got to He's not got to push too hard, and even if Adamako takes the position ahead of him, all he's got to do is just remain in his DRS, remain in those 3 seconds. As Adamako does make that overtake on turn 15. Thelemy will have the DRS, so he's not gonna battle too hard. He's got to stay in that 3 seconds. That's all he's got to do now, and not get a penalty himself. As yellow flag, I don't know what that is. It might be a lapped car looking for the overtake, as Thelemy does stay behind. Adamako didn't pump too hard, but Thelemy doesn't have to do it. He's just got to stay within the white lines. Oh, Adamako, I'm gutted for you, mate, but it happens. It happens in race, unfortunately. We don't have any battling, unfortunately, for the rest of the race. So again, let's just have a quick look at the penalties. We've got Adamako on 3, Katamis with 3, Brid with 3. As we just picked up another 3 as I'm doing the rounds. We've got Kizuza with 6. We've got Big Ratty with 6. We've got Benjuda with 6. We've got Devil Rejected with that lonely 5. And then we've got Jax and Noodles on that 9. And then Project Ty holding up the trophy of penalties as we've lost a McLaren. Which McLaren's that? And it looks like Big Racky to me. Has he had a bit of a spin? He has. Oh, he'll be gutted with that one. But he's been consistent with the whole race, and his tyre wear's just got the better of him, I think, or he's been pushing quite a bit. But gutted for him. And he has. He's used all his ERS as well, but he usually does. He usually does. As Noodles now makes the overtake, as Big Racky's lost it again. His tyres were too hot. His tyres, you're going to just have to take it nice and easy. Kiza gets another penalty. Danny Dine overtakes. He's going to be jumping up a couple of positions into the top 10 with that clean slate, no penalties. And just take it a bit slow. Take it big slow, Big Racky. Take it a bit slow, bud. Just get your tyres back to temperature. You don't want to go off again. As we have the Aston Martin in the pits. It is Benjuda. Is he looking to go on soft and maybe doing a fast lap? I don't know if you have enough time to do it, but we don't really have any battles apart from the top 2, jostling for P2, but they're not really jostling because Thelemy can just sit behind, so Benjuda's going through. We'll see if he does jump onto a set of softs, and I think he is, and looking for that. I don't know if he'll have enough time to do. He might. I don't think he's got enough time to do that fastest lap. Maybe he's getting rid of his penalty. No, he has retired. He's retired in the pits with a lap to go. Why would you do that? Italian hand gesture! Big Racky. You're getting one of them, bud. You're getting the Italian hand gesture. Oh, don't retire, though. You'll get some good points for your team. Don't retire, though. Don't retire, Big Racky. If you're listening. As we are on the last lap. We are on the last lap. And Amadi is now 7 seconds ahead, so it's been quite comfortable for him with that strategy. As Big Racky does jump on those softs, but I don't think he's going to have enough time to do a fastest lap. But got Adamako with Thelemy just following behind. So he's just got to keep it in those white lines now. Katami's consolidated P4 as well. Brid the same, potential P5, depending on penalties. Kiza has caught up a bit. AJ. He might. I can't remember. I think Kiza got 6, so AJ is looking to jump up a position here. As is that a Red Bull of Brid? No, it's the other Red Bull of Thelemy, and Thelemy has gone off by looks at it, unless he tried to make a move on Adamako, but I don't see why he would. I think he's just lost a bit of traction. He's lost a bit of traction there, and he's still he's lost P2. What happened to Thelemy? What happened to Thelemy, man? What happened to you? Oh my days! As Amadi comes home in P1, Adamako will take that P2. What happened to Thelemy? Oh, I'll have to ask him what happened to Thelemy. But comes home in P3. Oh, That was as Academy's doing the Oxford shuffle down the line and comes home in P4. He'll be absolutely thrilled with that one. We've got Brid coming home in P5. A valiant effort for the Red Bull team and some great points there for the Mercedes and the Red Bull team. Giza dropping down to P7 with AJ getting home in P6 for the McLaren team. Jackson P8, but I don't know if he'll drop down at all or not. We've got Noodles, who's coming around the final corner. Will he come home in P9 or will it be a P8? We shall see. I think it'll be a P9. It is a P9, so Jax does take that P9. But let's see, actually, he might get jumped by Danny Dine, who doesn't have any penalties. Foot flat to the floor. And Danny Dine comes home in P10. We've got Project Ty coming home in P11. And then Devil rejected. I think actually he might jump a position depending on how quick he gets home. He is. Looks like he's trickling. He's got no fuel. I think one or two might have... I know what happened to Thelemy. He underfueled. That's why. Oh, that's why his car was ghosting. He underfueled. Oh. Oh no, I did warn them. Oh, Adam Mako, you got out of jail. And Giza gets driver of the day and well deserved. Great consistent drive. I think personally I would have given it to Devils. I think you weren't the only one, bud. I did try and warn everybody. To fuel up. But we are on the podium. We are in Qatar, which means no alcohol. So once they've raised, congratulations Amadi, congratulations Adamako, congratulations Thelemy. You're not spraying champagne, you're spraying sparkling water. You're not allowed to drink here, you'll get your hands cut off. Stop it, it's sparkling water. Stop looking like you're enjoying yourself. Clink those bottles. And great, fantastic first race of the season. There's some great overtakes and some great strategies in play as we go through this finishing laps. As Amadi comes home in P1 and Amadi taking that fastest lap also. Adamako with a penalty coming home in P2, Bartholomew P3. So there's your podium sitters. Katami's a valiant P4, Brid P5, AJ P6, Giza coming in P7, Jax with all those penalties but still getting a P8. Noodles P9 on his first run out for us. And round off the top 10 is that Danny Dine, no penalties. We've got Project Ty P11, Devils rejected, Big Racky, Ben Judah and Jack, both of the bottom two retiring. So that is our first race, and I'd say just send in a video of your point of view and to the stewards, and then we'll look at getting the penalty removed if that's what's happened, Devils. So yes, thank you for everybody joining us. I was prepared, but I'm not now. Our next race next week is Singapore, so everybody join us same time, same place. This is Lights Out League Racing. Thank you very much for joining us. Thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure as always. Peace out.